Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 23, the tour through history with the Colorado Rockies. In our last episode, we had our most disappointing season yet, actually. We only won 77 games. Even though the offense was still reasonably solid, it wasn't elite. And the pitching got significantly worse. So, where do we go from here? Well, we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 2 seasons left to try to capture at least one more World Series championship. It has been a while since we have won 2 World Series with one team. It goes back to the Brewers when we won 3. And then before that, it was the Twins when we won 2 back-to-back. In our last 2 years, mind. We never even sniffed the World Series as the Royals, unfortunately. So we got some work to do. Let us begin. I'm pretty sure I set all this up. I did. We are currently not looking great financially. We have enough money to make one medium to large impact signing. But it's not clear where that signing should be. Right field, perhaps? Is a definite possibility. But what we don't have a lot of good contact guys. That's something we're going to have to address in this offseason, is find another solid contact guy who can add a bit more pop, and just build from there. Now, we also find ourselves picking 11th in the draft. And this upcoming draft pool is not super rich with impact players. In fact, it's almost exclusively pitchers. But I certainly wouldn't say no to a guy like a Freddie Freeman or a Starlin Castro. But it is worth noting this is not a great draft to need an offensive player. It's a very good draft if you need a pitcher, though. But I don't know. We'll have to see how things shake out. OSA thinks we're going to end up taking Starlin Castro. And if not for his error proneness, I would actually strongly consider that. I mean, you wouldn't take the place of Alex Gonzalez. Let's not be ridiculous. But I could do Gonzalez at second base and trade Juan Uribe. So I think if we're going to get an impact outfield, it's going to have to come from free agency, and then see where we can go from there. So my friends, my Romans, my countrymen, let us go ahead and advance forwards. Which I guess the only way you can advance. You can't advance backwards, that's called retreating. What a fucking weird flex, my dude. Like, okay, but yeah. Like, yes, your offer is deemed acceptable. All the uncertainty, you waited like 5 minutes for a new contract. Whatever. Let's not dwell on the past. Really? Not even a Silver Slugger? Really? What shortstop was better than Alex Gonzalez this year? I defy you. Yeah, I guess. Fuck you, Tulo, though. Right in the ear. right in the frickin' ear. I love that Albert Pujols casually has 600 home runs and hasn't even played 10 seasons yet. That's walks. He still has 400 home runs though, in just under 10 seasons, which is equally ridiculous. But not far off of like how he is as an actual player. So respect there. All right, winning some arbitration awards is always fun. I don't hate the idea of voting for Jame Abbott, so sure. I can give him some love. Wade Boggs is screwed. Cal Daniels is incredible, apparently. Lenny Dykstra turned out just as good as we thought he would, so I'm really pleased about that one. Probably one of my best draft picks in a long time. Andres Galarraga, Doc Gooden. Look what happens when he doesn't like do all the drugs and all the other things that cost him his career. He's a inner circle Hall of Famer, which is pretty wild. I'm gonna toss a bone to Oral Hershiser. It's not gonna matter though. I think he's already done on the ballot. Barry fucking Larkin. Sure for Steve Kemp. The problem is, in a realistic Hall of Fame, this stat line looks pretty solid. But compared to, Barry Larkin getting 3,000 hits and over 300 homers, or motherfucking Cal Daniels being, hitting almost 700 homers, the real-life Cal Daniels hit 100 homers in his career. Not nearly 700. So, truly, truly wild. And awesome, because we don't want life to just turn out the way it did in real life, or there'd be no point playing the games. Rafael Palmeiro deserves to be in the real life Hall of Fame too, but then again, I don't give two fucks about steroid usage. It doesn't really bother me. I will keep campaigning for Tim Raines, even though I know it's a waste of time. And yeah, no one else here really jumps out at me. So we'll vote for 10 as a treat. Free agency filings. Oh, Bobby Abreu. That's who our right fielder was. And he was a great fit for the team, but we can't remotely afford him. Alright, amigos. We are presently need to fill at least one, possibly two rotation spots. We need a starting right fielder, and we have to do that with $11 million. So there is hay to be made here, relatively speaking. If we can be intelligent with how we spend our resources, I think we have a chance. So first things first, let us groan at the sight of Andrew Jones's contract. I mean, he's already better than real life Andrew Jones, who after he hit the age of 30 was borderline acceptable occasionally, whereas ours is still a productive regular. He's a far cry from his peak, but he'll definitely have a nice gentle descent into his 30s instead of hitting a brick wall. And one would argue already that he's a borderline Hall of Famer. The real life one is a Hall of Famer borderline as well. But this one, though, is particularly special. Anywho. So I've got $9 million Renos. Sorry, $11 million Renos. I do kind of want to lock up Yachty. But not at the expense of getting a big new free agent. So let's check free agency first, and then we'll decide from there. Andy Pettitte is insane. He has literally taken leave of his senses. I mean, Scott Kasner isn't a great decision, and he's expensive, which is a terrible combination. Willis Roberts is a reliever, not a starter. Like, Doug Davis feels like a disappointing addition, but he is still an addition. And he's cheap. Like, would I back up the Brinks truck for a guy like a Scott Kazmir? Here's my issue. His value is only his stuff. Because he's got such bad control, he's going to walk lots of people, and his movement means he's probably going to get lit up. I don't think he's a good risk. Not financially. So we're going to go and offer Mr. Doug Davis his very own contract. I'll even promise you the starting rotation. That's the kind of gentleman that I am. Let's look at outfielders. I would love a guy like Bobby Abreu. I truly, truly would. Oh, this is one of the fakies. That's fine. But I can't afford that. Carlos Beltran is basically cheaper Andrew Jones. I don't think that's a good fit. So I said we needed contacts. Let's start with that. If all I cared about was contact, I would assign Ichiro. I'm not going to do that. Aaron Rowan is a lot of money. Especially when I could get Juan Rivera instead. Juan Rivera seems like he'd be a pretty decent outfielder in Colorado, right? Nice contact, good power, minimal strikeouts, decent plate discipline. Carl Everett's too expensive. I wonder if I can filter by demand. Okay, choose. Here we go. Demand is less than, let's say, 8 million. That works really well. I never thought of using that before. Very nice. If I want a leadoff guy, clearly it's going to be someone like Shannon Stewart. Shannon Stewart would be the best choice from I need a leadoff guy standpoint. Good contact, decent power, pretty decent batting eye. I can live with that. There's also Trot Nixon, Mario Valdez, Juan Pierre, just kidding. Although this version of Juan Pierre learned how to draw walks, the real Juan Pierre never did. Like, you look at his real life stats here, his on-base percentage was entirely powered by his ability to hit for average and triples. And watch his on-base percentage plummet the moment his ability to hit for average consistently disappeared. A punchless wonder in every sense of the word. Ben Grieve would be an out-of-the-box choice. He's also not a very good outfielder. Sorry. Huh. We had Austin Kearns. I remember Austin Kearns. Everyone remembers Austin Kearns. I like Jason Worth. I think Jason Worth is fully capable of being a quality player for us. Let's pick up. Gosh, Juan Rivera would clearly be the best all-around hitter. Like even in his worst years, he's still a pretty consistent player. He's not very expensive. The alternative is going for a player like a Ben Grieve, who could probably do real damage in Colorado, but he's a terrible outfielder. Absolutely terrible. In fact, let us add that to the demands here. Where's like the primary position one? It's TEF. Oh, is it under fielding ratings maybe? Just under TEF? There we go. If he's not at least a 50, I don't want to hear about him. Okay. Now we're starting to see real choices here. I don't hate Steve Cox, and he's at least nice and cheap. But on the flip side, I mean, I guess if all I care about is a pretty good hitter who's not going to cost me a lot of money, Cox is certainly that. But here's my concern. Right now, I have two hitters that reliably make contact. That's Alex Gonzalez and Yadier Molina. I don't think I can afford another hitter who can't hit for contact. I need somebody who can put the ball in play when we need them to, not just rely for walks and the occasional home run. I mean, one would argue, why not go for Jose Vidro, because Vidro can only play first base. I think it's got to be Juan Rivera. I truly believe that's the best fit for this club. So let's give him an opportunity. He wants a 3-year deal. I don't love that, but I don't hate it either. Sure, let's make that offer. If he gets into a bidding war, I'm probably screwed. Oh, you're right. I do have to activate him, don't I? Beep boop beep. Let us advance up to the day of the draft. Interesting. All right, let's go. I'm not going to obsess. Oh, Giancarlo Stanton's in this draft. And Jason Hayward. Okay. All right. 100% if he falls, I'm going for Jason Hayward. Giancarlo Stanton would actually be a good choice too. My concern is I don't think either one of them is going to make it to me. Yeah, this draft has changed significantly, and I don't like it. We'll see what happens, though. We'll see who's still around. Tampa, you fuckers. You couldn't have let him slide one more spot. Unreal. I don't hate Jose Tabata. I think he's actually got a lot of talent and could be a useful piece to our club. Is there a top quality pitcher that's still left? Like a starting pitcher? Mike Leake and Ivanova and Travis Wood and Vance Worley are all many things, but quality player, not so much. I think we try out Tabata. I truly think he is a solid choice. It kind of makes Juan Rivera redundant, so let's quickly go to free agency, and I'm going to pull his offer. Because I think Tabata is just a better fit than Rivera. Like, Rivera is fine, but Tabata is much better than he is. So I'm going to pull this offer, and then we'll see. I mean, Kenley Jansen would be a nice addition to this club. I mean, I know I could get Trevor Plouffe instead, but... And concerning why Kenley Jansen, it's because Kenley Jansen is much more polished. I think he's a great addition to this team. Are there any decent players left in the draft? Like, any decent hitters? Brett Wallace is an okay all-around hitter, but that's all he is okay. I guess that's the best I can probably do. Sure, I'll go for Brandon Beachy. Why not? And then I don't really care who we draft at this point, because nobody else is that exciting. So the next move is going to be, what other positions can we shore up? We've got a really good reliever now in Kenley Jansen. That's a very nice addition to the club. I've got a new right fielder in Jose Tabata. He seems like he's going to be a great fit. What else do we need? I need a utility infielder, preferably somebody who's not an embarrassment with the bat. So let's ship in that direction now. Who can we acquire to fill a utility infield spot? Who won't be a total nightmare if he does get hurt? Adam Kennedy is only second and third, otherwise I'd like where his head's at. Brandon Phillips is only second. Doug Minkiewicz is a phenomenal hitter and a pretty decent first baseman, but I don't know that a backup first baseman is something I'm that interested in. Mike Young is meh. Let me look at shortstops. Yeah, this got real dodgy real fast. Let's go for Orlando Cabrera because he's super cheap. And then, what am I looking at for pictures? I have 10 pitchers. I'm about to add 2 new relievers, though. So, I'm adding a starting pitcher, too. Interesting. Oh, I'm not including Tabata here, am I? No, Tabata gets put on the 40-man. It gets put right to the Major League roster. Yeah, Blevins and Lewis can get fucked. You're just picking up space on my rule 5. Okay, so I'm adding Tabata and Jansen for 2. Probably Doug Davis for 3. They're leaving with 2 open position players spots. Why the hell not go for a guy like Doug Minkiewicz? He's an incredible hitter, and I don't think he necessarily needs a starting lineup spot. No. I'm not going to give you anything that involves you getting starting playing time. Jose Vidro is probably going to be way cooler about this. Yeah, let's get Jose Vidro. A couple of nice batsmen to shore up our things there. I like that. Rule 5 draft time. I guess St. Louis is desperate for my leavings. My pitching leavings. Everybody signed. No shockers there. Alright, so let's talk Rule 5. Are there any interesting players at all? There are not. Hee-Sop Choi is interesting if you really squint, I guess, but I'd rather have Jose Vidra, who's a bit more polished. But I give Mark Hendrickson. I don't know why, though. I mean, I guess he is like a team leader. Do I have one of those? I do. I have Andrew Jones. Y'all don't have to like Alex Gonzalez. You have to shut the fuck up about it, though. Because he is the answer. He is what makes this team special. I see nobody worth taking. I'm just going to complete the draft. There is nobody interesting there. Let's go right the way up to spring training. Okay. We did get Doug Davis. I feel a little bit better about our chances pitching-wise. He's not anything special, but what he offers us is a really useful veteran arm, which is going to be really important if James Shields is off the pace. If he has a setback, Doug Davis gets a rotation spot, and we'll need to pick up another guy. I'm not saying I don't want Juan Rivera. It's just I don't want to give him a starting lineup spot. So no thank you. I'm good, thanks. Interesting. Very interesting. I mean, I've got the money. But I don't think I need him anymore. I think I've evolved past the need for Doug Minkiewicz. Alright. So, a lot of people get to make the opening day roster. Vidro and Cabrera. Is there any starting pitching left? That'd be the only thing I would consider investing in at this stage. Go ahead and clear the filter, please. And let's look at starter. No, there's nobody here, really, that moves the needle. I've got a lot of money for free agents, though. Like, a lot of money. Let's start with the simple stuff, and let's get Yadier Molina locked up. He's an excellent player who doesn't want too much money, and that's a great combination for me. Is there anybody else worth acquiring at this stage? Are there any starters on the trading block? Justin Hermano is. But he's not a starter, he's a reliever. And I'm not going to spend that much money for a reliever. Cliff Lee wouldn't be terrible, I guess. What I need is an ace, though. And there aren't any that I'm going to be able to afford easily. So that is the situation we find ourselves in. Oh, well. Pitching, we're going to go 6-man rotation, obviously. I'm completely fine with this. I don't think this is the best to use Doug Davis, but I don't hate it either. So we'll just kind of let that one go and then go ahead and generate all depth charts. I do think Tabata has a chance to be a major asset to us. Wait. Who are we benching? Okay, are you fucking stupid? Have you taken leave of your senses? How often is Jason Worth getting playing time? Not often enough. I don't know on what planet you think I would ever want Travis Buck over Jason Worth. But, no. Is the answer you were looking for. No. Get Jason Worth in there every fucking day. I did not acquire him to sit on the bench. Don't be stupid, game. Hey, you want him to DH? Great, he can DH. But he's actually a pretty decent outfielder, and I don't want defense that badly. The Travis Buck is fine. I don't dislike him, but he's also not a key piece of this team in the way that Tabata or Worth is. So, Tabata, I'm going to need you to do me a huge favor and get real good at right field real fast. That would be fantabulous if you could manage that for me. I did know that. Oh snap, H.A. Burnett. Nice. Brilliant. This is borderline highway robbery. To get an excellent defensive catcher who also can hit, that's only going to look even better in Colorado. And it didn't cost me a huge amount of money. Doug Minkiewicz ended up with Boston just the way he did in real life. Just a little bit later on in life. Oops, I did not want to do next month. Sorry. Because I want to be able to react in case there's serious injuries. All right. So, step one in our plan to take over the baseball world. Got to get down to 27. Alexia Gondo, you can go to the minors. I'm going to keep Doug Davis, though. And I'm at 13 pitchers. I don't really want to carry 13, though. Like, I don't really want to keep Shakeen in the majors, but I also know if I put him into the minors, he's gonna, like, blow his arm out. I'm gonna send Jeff Neiman to the minors. That seems suitable. Let's do it. Doug Davis, you're the emergency starter, left-handed specialist. Gonna find my rotation. If Chris Young is available, he will be the opening day starter. I use the word ace in only the strictest of senses, and this then leaves me with the 25-man roster I need. So Beachy makes the roster, Jansen makes the roster, Vidro and Cabrera both make the roster, and Tabata makes the roster. So now let us destroy, at all times, all the lineups and all the depth charts. Okay. There's a couple of choices here for leadoff guy. But I really think it comes down to two. Jason Worth or Jose Tabata. Because Tabata doesn't have a big home run stroke, I think he is the better choice to lead off. And he's going to lead off and play right field. Because I trust him playing in right more than I trust Worth playing in right. So Tabata plays in right. And then who bats second? Probably Jason Worth. So Jason Worth is going to bat second. Then Alex Gonzalez. Then Aramis Ramirez. Then Andrew Jones. Then Yachty. Then Jose Avila. And then here's an interesting question. Is it Uribe or Cabrera? No, it's Uribe. It's Uribe. Okay, generate me a depth chart, please. This looks fine to me. Let's go ahead and copy and paste it over. And do paste, paste. You get to do whatever you want to in this situation, which is probably going to be Travis Buck as DH. Bold move, but okay. Oh, sorry. There you go. Okay, cool. Now, this is a fairly good lineup from top to bottom. That being said, it is not perfect. And this is what concerns me more than anything. Aramis Ramirez and Jason Worth are going to be playing a huge role on this team, for better or worse. Because they're my only power guys that have contact other than Alex Gonzalez. So that's going to be an interesting scenario. We're a very old offensive team. None of my starters, other than Jose Tabata, are under 30. Excuse me, and Yachty Molina. So 2 of 8 starters are under 30. And if we look at my super cool roster breakdown screen, I've literally drafted none of these players. That's not true. I guess Andrew Jones, but who doesn't count? And then Tabata and Buck. Yeah. But I mean, we're going to be as successful or as bad as we are on our pitching. If we get good performances out of the bullpen and tolerable performances out of the starting rotation, I think we're going to be a successful team. But we don't have an ace. I don't think we have a number two. No, that's not true. Top tier Young, Shields, and Shakeen are a reasonably good rotation, with Burnett and Markham rounding things out. But we're gonna kind of live and die on our relievers. I truly believe that. Andrew Bailey's kind of grumpy with me. Oh no, he's not. I didn't promise him anything. Who did I promise closer to? I promised Brad Lidge closer. Well, he's just gonna have to be grumpy about it because that's not gonna happen. Right. Let us see how the basing of balls works. Cool. Losers doing loser things. Huh. Freeman ended up with Atlanta. That's pretty cool. I like that. Jonathan Lucroy on the Guardians. Man, Jason Hayward would have been so fucking good, though. Like, I'm not even joking. Jason Hayward would have been amazing. Oh, well. Who did Chris Sale start with in real life? It wasn't Boston. Was it Chicago? Yeah, it was the White Sox. That's right. That's right. Man, I'm a little bit bummed out. Like, I'm always going to look at Jason Hayward and wonder what might have been if Tampa Bay could have just let that one go. That would have been pretty baller of them. But anyway. Amigos, compañeros, etc., etc. Let us advance through some baseball. Guys, I think if I finish around 500 again, I'm probably getting fired. Unless I somehow win the division. I think if I win the division, no matter what else happens, I think I'm fine. But other than that, I am somewhat concerned. Chris Young got better. Shakeen is getting, like, marginally better. Like, a little skosh better. Jason Worth is best player in the league. Chris Young is pitching extremely well. Very good. Just gonna barrel on down to the next month and see how things work out. If we miss the playoffs, I probably get fired. I'm just gonna say, if I miss the playoffs, we probably get fired. Control got better. Good. What are you offering me? Kinkinatos. Or, no, it's Pittsburgh. Brian Matthews. I don't think so. I don't think a mediocre reliever is my jam. Is the opposite of whatever one's jam would be. One's peanut butter, perhaps. The lineup's getting it done. The pitching staff is not. And that's, I mean, that is classic Colorado Rockies behavior, right? I guess if there's a bright side here, it's that for the most part, each player has a little bit extra that they could be bringing in. The defense is reasonably good. Is there any one defender that is, like, shitting the bed? Wow, you really think Yadier Molina sucks. I venture that you suck game. Jose here has to do some work to get a little bit better in right field, but that's okay. Offensively, he's almost what I'm looking for. I just need him to be a little bit more. Like, just a tiny bit more, and he will be a very excellent player. Right. Like, the kinds of things that we need are ace starting pitchers. You know what people don't ever have on the trading block? Ace starting pitchers. And that's what we need, right? We need a genuinely excellent offensive performer. Kevin Euclid might be nice. In some ways. In other ways, not so much. I think it's hilarious that Andrew Jones, because of his base running and defense, is still worth 4 wins when he hits 218. That's crazy to me. But accurate. But crazy. I definitely don't need him this high in the lineup. I'm not going to take him out of the lineup, obviously, but like I could literally just have him bat like 8th or 7th right now, and I think we'd be just as well off. So we'll give that a try. Look, he's still useful. He still gets on base at a ridiculous clip. He still hits pretty solid home runs, but I just don't think it's enough overall. I need someone who can get on base a little more frequently and do a little bit more damage. Alright, cool. Let us now proceed forwards to the beginning of July. I don't care if you're happy, Doug. Because here's the thing. The moment a pitcher gets hurt, you're the next man up. I'm sorry that you're grumpy, but I'm also not sorry. Not even a little bit sorry. So I need you to stop complaining. Okay? Just gonna scooch right past you and ask you not to complain. Travis Denker. Travis Denker offers nothing. Man, I really desperately wish we had a starting pitcher. Just one. The thing is, Cameron Maybin is only a good defender. I don't think even trading someone like Jeff Neiman is worth it. Not when I could turn Neiman back into a reliever and get something fairly decent. Okay, Avila seems like a mistake. But not a huge mistake, just a medium-sized mistake. I mean, he's doing what he's paid for, right? He is hitting home runs, and he is drawing walks, and he is playing very competent third base. If he's not an ideal run producer, that's as much on me for asking too much of him as it is on him for not performing at his very best. Look, this is the reason. I don't have a dominating starting pitcher. And without a truly dominant starting pitcher, there's only so much I can do. There's only so much we can do to make this team work, and I don't know how to get one. No, Connor Gillespie does not interest me, and neither does Daniel Schlereth. I apologize, but neither one of those names does much for me. Vidro, at no point during this entire season did I ever give you the inclination or the hint that that's what's going to happen. Okay. Instant slam on the brakes. AJ Burnett cannot be in the rotation if he can't throw harder than he is. An AJ Burnett with no stuff is an AJ Burnett that isn't going to be very good for very long. I'm going to slide Doug Davis into the rotation and see if I can't get a little bit more out of Mr. Burnett in the bullpen. All right, coaching staff. Is everybody happy? People are reasonably happy. Maybe we let the bench coach walk. He seems to be the one person that a lot of people don't like very much. Buddy Black, I have plans for you, so please stay. Please. Hector, I'm not likely to do a whole lot better than you, coaching-wise. Nor am I likely to do a whole lot better than Bill Fahey. So we're going to lock you both up. That'll be fine. Alright. Let's check the trade block again. There are no good starters. Genuinely, everybody that has a good starting pitcher is hoarding it and is not willing to part with it for anything. Which is fine. That is a decision that they're entitled to make for their own teams. I could sign Omar Dahl or do literally anything else. Let's try to get creative here. So we're going to go to the players, and I'm going to look at pitchers. And we're going to look at all starting pitchers with an overall of at least 60. And search. Okay. The Yankees are probably not giving up Roy Halladay. Possible, but unlikely, right? But I think that's kind of our secret here, is we need to find a team that has multiple starting pitchers that are fairly good, and then take their most expensive one off their hands. So let's talk to the Yankees about Halladay. Oh, Halladay just tells me to get fucked. Cool, 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 cool. Felix Fernandez, sorry. Okay, nobody moves the needle. Not even Brandon Allen, I suspect. No. I would take CC Sabathia, but I know I can't afford him, which is what's unfortunate. Like, I know that I can't afford his salary right now. And also, there's nobody, and I guess that's the rub, right? Like, there's no one player that's valuable enough to get a frontline starting pitcher. Unless it's like one of my many relievers. Like, I'll offer Brad Lidge, but you're going to tell me to get fucked. And justifiably so. Right? That's the issue. The issue is there's not enough top-flight starting pitchers, and the people who do have them aren't giving them up. And nor should they. Nor should they, right? Could I get Rich Harden? Or is even Rich Harden too much? Rich Harden is also probably too much to ask for. Yeah. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to go ahead and try team needs and see if it's a way to get people talking to me. So we're going to do front office. No, we're not. We're going to do scouting. No. It's under the trade interface. team needs. I'd like to add a starting pitcher. I don't care about any of this bullshit. I do want a major league. No, I don't care if it's a major leaguer. I want somebody who's good, though. That is my concern. What team needs will do is it'll trigger people to come talk to me. I'll get trade offers based on that. Would it make sense? Yes, it makes sense to target any of these guys, but the problem is that none of you are willing to give them to me. Like, come on. Like, there ain't no way in hell that Detroit's giving a Madison Bumgarner. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of their time. It's not going to happen. We could try Mark Pryor, but again, why would Cleveland give him up? To what end would I want him, or would I give him up, or would they give him up? Let's see. Andrew Bailey made the All-Star team for some odd reason. Alex Gonzalez is there. Aramis Ramirez is there, and that's it. 3 Colorado Rockies have made the All-Star team. One of whom is a reliever who, to be quite honest with you, is not that good. But it's fine. It's fine. Yikes. Oh, that's right. They changed the roster here. Yeah, it's United States versus the world, not, yeah. I have nobody in here, which is not great. It's not great. Why is Andrew Kashner in the minor leagues? Okay, because he's not very good, but that's fine, I guess. Short of somebody heating up, like, to nuclear levels of hotness, I don't think we've got much of a chance here. It would make all kinds of sense to target John Lackey, and I'm not going to be able to get him. Alright, so let's start pulling apart the players who don't have a role on this team anymore. AJ Burnett, what can I get for you? I'm going to look at starting pitching, but really I'll take anything. Jim Parquet is nothing to get excited about. I mean, I don't know if Luis Mendoza does much for me, though. I would only consider trading for Johan Santana if the Angels picked up some or all of his salary. Because I do think his big strikeouts would work really well in Colorado, but I'm not paying that salary. I'm not getting tricked again. No, absolutely not. Mark Mulder's not very good. Like, it feels like, as gross as this feels, that Luis Mendoza is probably the best choice here. So I think I'll take it. Because at least Luis Mendoza has some pitching talent, I guess. No, I'm going to trade Doug Davis. And I think Doug Davis is going to get a little bit more attention than the other dude. No, not? Okay. Um, what if I just look for prospects? I get nothing of value, then I'll just keep Doug Davis till the end of the year. You're gonna be emergency starter and long reliever. Who else's contract is up at the end of the year? Doug Davis's is. I'm not going to get much for him. Let me offer up Vidro, actually, and see what I might be able to get for that. And let's look at infielders, please. Interesting. Jake Peavy, huh? Oh, that's right. That's how that works. Kip Wells is a nifty little pitcher that has the benefit of being cost controlled at a very reasonable rate. I think Kip Wells makes a lot of sense for the Colorado Rockies. So yeah, you're not a reliever. You are a starter, Mr. Wells, and you will be taking over for Doug Davis as a starter. Did I get fucking bamboozled again? I think I did. I think I inadvertently read him as a relief pitcher. When I wanted to use him as a starter, that was on me. I now have too many pitchers. Can I get anything for Doug Davis? I would like a batter, please. Ideally, an infielder that won't embarrass themselves. Eh. I'm looking for a reasonably good infielder that won't break the bank. Jack Hanahan is a fine third baseman. That's all he is, unfortunately. And I need someone who's a bit more maneuverable, someone who can handle shortstop, like a Brendan Ryan. Brendan Ryan can't hit, but he's a pretty darn solid choice defensively. So I think I'll take that deal. And that gives me him. Generate me a depth chart if you please. Hey, I finally have somebody who can do some defense every now and again. That's fun. What else do we trade? Do we trade Orlando Cabrera? I see no point in keeping him. Same thing with Jeff Francoeur, honestly. Like, somebody's going to look at Jeff Francoeur and think they can fix him. Oh, I can't shop anymore. That's a bummer. Who's on El Blanco del Trading? The trading block. Okay, if I traded for Kevin Youkilis, it would have to be in exchange for Avila. That's my primary concern. If I can make that happen, I will happily pull that trigger. Um, what would it take for me to get Kevin Youkilis? What if I offered you Avila? Okay, that effectively... I mean, do I want Aaron Cunningham? Not really. Can I get greedy and get you to, like, eat his entire salary? That'd be pretty awesome, if you would. No, I'm not going to give you Andrew Bailey. But if I ask you half of his salary... Okay. I will happily offer you Schichtling here. Yeah, that's fine. Kevin Youkilis in this team is definitely a third baseman. I'm really seeing a little bit of defense, but Youkilis is also a much better all-around hitter. And I think there's a ton of value in that. Alright. Who else is worth trading? Surely somebody's going to offer something intriguing for Francoeur, right? But maybe I just need to keep checking the block to see what I actually want. I don't know. I don't know. Would it be funny as hell if Jeff Francoeur just, like, no, I don't want anything to do with you. Like, oh, fuck you too, buddy. Right in the ear. There is another path for Kevin Youkilis, by the way, which is I opt out of Aramis Ramirez's contract and move Youkilis to first. But we'll see what happens with that. Alright, gentlemen and ladies and other watchers of this video. That's a pretty busy trade deadline, I gotta say. Would it make sense to target Clayton Kershaw? Yeah, let's get right on that. Hey Giants, how about Clayton Kershaw? How does that sound? Like if I offered him Alex Gonzalez cuts me off. If I offer you Andrew Bailey, yeah, I agree, right? That's an appropriate target, but it's not something I can get. I don't have the major league or even minor league assets really to make a deal of that caliber. I just don't. So I'm gonna go ahead and disable team needs. That was a very busy trade deadline, and I'm not sure whether the Rockies in 2010 are better, but the Rockies of 2011 feel like they're going to be better. I think they're going to be a little bit better. Delete. Let us proceed. But wait a minute, what about... No. I'm not even going to bring up the fucking playoffs, because I'm not going to make the playoffs. I'll be lucky if I don't get fired. It will be a minor miracle if I don't get fired. And I think it only happens if we just start destroying pitchers. Like, we just start taking it out on other teams at, like, ridiculous levels. Nice work, Kenley Jansen. Very cool. Very nice. Okay. So, how's it going? Honestly, offensively, we're really balanced. Which I love. We're gonna have probably 4 home run hitters. And that's an excellent recipe for success. Jose Tabata should be better than he is, but I also like that he's got somewhere to go from here. I think that's going to be very important to our future success as a franchise. So yeah, let us end this regular season. Thanks guys. That's real cool. To put me in first place and then take away Alex Gonzalez. I love it. That's exactly what we wanted to see. He was holding us back. I'm completely and utterly joking. Is this game meaningful? It is meaningful. If I can beat St. Louis, I have a tiny chance of making the playoffs. Is that a big chance? Because right now there are four teams competing for 2 spots. There's me and the Padres for the National League West, and then there is me, the Pirates, and the Phillies for the wild card spot. I could play this game. But here's the thing, even if I win, it's not a guarantee that we go to the postseason. Now, if I win and it's at best, it's going to lead to another game. And that's if we beat St. Louis. Which we didn't. St. Louis defeated us. And that ends the season. Which is fine. I don't think it should be discounted how much of a bounce back we had toward the end of that season. We were mired under 500, and then we just took things over by storm. Yes, part of this was certain players heating up after they were quite cold to start the season, obviously. But we had genuine pitching, like actually pitchers doing well. Sean Markham, Kip Wells, Julius Shakeen. We had genuine, actual pitchers doing pitching things. And if it still could be better, and I still hope it is going to be better, I don't hate it. The real question is, did I lose my job? Gross. Sorry, the Marlins winning the World Series just gives me bad memories. Alright. I get a 2-year contract, which is fine, because I'm only going to stay for 1 more year anyway. Am I going to do better than Aramis Ramirez if I opt out of his contract? Probably not. Aramis Ramirez just finished leading the league in slugging. If that's not worth another contract year, I don't know what is. So I'm going to execute that option. Boop. And we need to make some coaching hires real quick. Oh, we need a new team trainer. And I want the very best trainer that we can get our hands on. And I think that feels to me like Ken Thomas. Who's going to be our bench coach? Well, if we would like people to be relatively happy, we want somebody easygoing or personable. Jerry Ujder as... He's temperamental, though. That's going to make some people grumpy. And Ken Thomas is just average. I could rocket Darren Oliver all the way up, but I'm not going to do that. I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's take Jim Lefebvre and make him our bench coach. Oh, he doesn't want to be the bench coach. What about Zane Smith? Zane Smith wants to be a bench coach. Beautiful. Now I'm not as concerned about getting the perfect coach. I want somebody definitely who can help with development. I mean, I'd love someone easygoing if we can manage it. Rusty McNeely seems like a good choice. Let's grab Rusty McNeely. Rusty McNeely. And that's that. Let's go to arbitration now. Sean Markham has been perfectly fine. I have no problem with giving him another deal and then trading him if it turns out he sucks. 650 grand is perfectly reasonable. Travis Buck is gonna just hopefully settle for a 1-year deal. Cool. Friends, I have a lot of money. A lot of money. If there is a starting pitcher on this market, they will be mine, even if I have to overpay for them. So we will see how that works out. But my friends, let us break down how the season actually went and whether our success might be sustainable. Let's start with looking at batting stats. Oh, excuse me. Alex Gonzalez, phenomenal. Any year your shortstop hits 40 home runs and plays a great defense is a great year, and that's certainly what Alex Gonzalez provides us. Aramis Ramirez having a breakout year at the age of 32, when his last truly excellent year was when he was 24, is wonderful news. I'm happy for him. I am slightly concerned that this is not going to be a permanent thing. But I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it hard right now. Don't say that out of context. Andrew Jones. If he's hitting 40 homers, I'm happy. I'm truly pleased. Or 30 homers, rather. I'm truly pleased. Yeah, he's playing great defense. He's hitting homers. He's drawing walks. That's what you look for in a position player. Jason Worth has already proven his worth as an excellent second hitter. He's done really well for us, and I'm very pleased with his performance. We have Juan Uribe, who just every once in a while is just like, yeah, hitting 300 is easy, and just had an amazing season. Of all the players who were key contributors this year, I am most worried about him repeating his success. Mr. Uribe's very best year in his major league career was his first year with Colorado. This is his second. And he's 31. Is there another year like this in his career? I certainly would love to see that if that were the case, but the huge numbers of triples does leave me with some concern. Yadi Molina, wonderful. I know that for some reason defensive efficiency doesn't like him. It can get fucked. I'm very pleased with Yadi Molina. He is an excellent catcher and a worthwhile contributor. Kevin Youkilis. He really did play much better in Colorado. And yeah, like he was a 4-win player basically. Awesome. Jose Tabata. I feel like there's another gear here. I think of all the players who had an important role for the Colorado Rockies, he's the one who underperformed. The man's got wheels. He can run. He's got a pretty good bat and decent power. Now, I don't know why his OPS plus is only 97. I don't know what he's missing. But I do feel like there's a second gear here that he can shift up a bit and really be an outstanding leadoff guy. 354 on base isn't ideal for a leadoff guy, but I'll take it. The bench didn't contribute a huge amount. Jaden Williams probably needs to be replaced. I think we know what we can get from Jaden Williams, and that is nothing. I think backup catcher is one area we could really improve in. The pitching staff. How were they? Sean Markham has really been a solid starting pitcher for us. Certainly not flawless, certainly not perfect, but he gives us a bunch of innings and doesn't give up as many homers as some of the others. James Shields, when he's healthy, is one of the league's more consistent starters. I respect that. Chris Young was off to a really hot start and still finished the year okay. But his stats are trending in the wrong direction. He's already 31. And he's walking more hitters, or about the same number of hitters, while striking out fewer and giving up more homers. Kenley Jansen ended up being a fantastic closer. He'll be even better once he gets his walk problem sorted. And on the whole, every pitcher contributed in some meaningful way. So, if we're going to do better, we need an elite starting pitcher. We got to be prepared to pay whatever it takes to bring in an elite starter. That is going to change this club, for better or worse. If I look at upcoming free agents, there's a couple of good starters. I don't necessarily know if I consider Matt Cain or Jake Peavy to be franchise-changing, but I think they're both excellent. I think both of them would look really good for the Rockies. Are there any position players of note? Todd Helton and Manny Ramirez both seem like they're pretty solid. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. Now, we don't know how many of these guys are going to make it to free agency, though, is the thing. Like, if I were Chicago or New York, I'd be talking to my starting pitchers real hard. Because I'm coming for them. Maybe even both if I can afford them. If we can overhaul the rotation, we've got a real chance to make a lot of noise next season. And not just the bad kind of noise. That's going to be a topic for next episode. I hope you do join me for next episode. Until then, though, this has been Ev Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.